I mean, I find it incredible, especially, recently with the work that I've been doing to become a better husband and to start to understand my wife more. My therapist and I were talking about the love languages and just
Yeah.
how people express different types of love.
Yeah.
Some people express they want gifts. Like that is the best form of love is if you get them a nice piece of jewelry. Other people, it's like spend quality time. I don't give a shit about material things. I just want to spend quality time.
Right.
Other people, it's words of affection. What are the words of affection? Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you appreciate me. And like, there's these 5 different languages. And what I hadn't realized until I started doing the work was my wife and I were speaking different languages.
That's right.
Literally, like she wants quality time. That's all she wants from me. What do I want from her is I want words of affection. So when she says things, like she doesn't acknowledge all the things that I do well, but she'll always tell me the things that I don't do well. So
which
that
is how I felt it in my house. So
right?
It triggered my shame constantly, which is what you're saying.
It's exactly right. Like all I want her to do is tell me she's proud of me, that she's like, this is great. I can see the path that we're on, keep doing great with the barbecue restaurant, keep doing good with media. But none of those things were manifesting. It was always, okay, well, you don't do the dishes. Okay, then I help do the dishes. And then what does she say? She goes, oh, well, you forgot to take the trash out. Yeah. It's like, well, what about I did the dishes? Well, now you're supposed to do the dishes. So it's like, but we're going back and forth as husband and wife, not acknowledging literally the elephant in the room, the thing that is the love language, the communication, the big unlock. And so much of what my therapist says is she works with couples. She's been doing it for, 2 decades, and 90%, if not more than 90% of the fear from women is a fear of being left alone. And that manifests itself in so many different ways.
It does. And that's a super powerful statement. The thing I want to acknowledge though is understanding how to love and care for your partner, not just caring about them, but caring for them is a major difference.
Thank you.
And so love language is kind of what you're saying is that's how you demonstrate love, is how you care for them based on the way they receive love.
Yes.
I think it's equally, if not more important though, to understand where the resistance and energy drain or conflict comes from in relationships. And more often than not, that's rooted in the emotional triggers that the other person has had that have manifested in their life that, again, are not your fault, but you need to become aware of them so they can become your responsibility, right? So I know that my wife does not like to be around heightened anger or energy. But anytime I do that, it makes her feel unsafe because that's, by the way, a trigger for her is the desire to feel physically and emotionally safe. Well, I'm a man with a giant energy. If I get upset about something, I put off a giant energy that can be scary. Right. Yeah. And that's not even without screaming or being just my energy alone.
Correct.
Which puts her into a place of being defensive and scared.
Yep.
Which if I'm being a good husband, would I ever do anything to make my wife feel anything other than safe and protected? No.
Correct.
But I've done it multiple times in 14 years. And so we need to understand not just how to show love, but how to avoid the triggers so that we can demonstrate how we care for them by how we can be delicate and give them a soft place to land, even in the areas that were not our fault, but we assumed as our responsibility when we decided to do life with them.
Yes.
And that is so critically important. But then when you do that, right, caring for your partner really does lead to different levels of connecting with them, right? So like for me, I'm words of affection and physical touch. And I don't just mean that sexually, right? Like genuinely, like if my wife touches my arm while we're driving, I feel her love.
Yes.
Right. And by the way, my wife also has physical touch, but that wasn't something that was apparent because her emotional place wasn't safe enough for her to be surrendering to be physically intimate with me. And I don't mean that sexually. Again, sexually it's increased, but like things as little as I want to just rub her feet or her legs to take care of her because that feels good to her.
Yeah.
If she didn't have the emotional safety, I couldn't do something for her from a physical touch standpoint that would allow her to relax because she's on edge, expecting some transfer of energy that's not positive.
Right.
She had to learn to trust that she has a soft place to land. And then I can demonstrate and care for her in the ways that she needs to receive it because I've been able to avoid the landmines with her triggers.